Green New Deal, DEI, transgender ideology, not for America, but every country around the world. Literally hundreds of billions of dollars. Here with reaction, White House Deputy Chief of Staff, for Policy, Stephen Miller. Before we get to Pam Bondi, I'll scroll what I did last night, all of the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that they have wasted. They're not spending it in America, and they're spending it for the most radical policies that no American would support this. And they're calling it a threat to our Constitution. Can you explain that?
USAID has been exposed as the funding mechanism for the radical left here and around the world. The reason why the Democrats are up in arms is that Donald Trump exposed their scheme. They've been using USAID to line their pockets, of radical left Marxist organizations to fund gender studies in Albania, diversity, equity, and inclusion all over the world, to fund radical left illegal immigration and open borders groups that support the dissolution of national borders. They're even funding left-wing media organizations here in the United States. The radical left in this country are federal employees. In other words, they are sponsored and paid by the federal government. These non-governmental organizations are all subsidized by American taxpayer dollars. So if you ever wonder, where's the radical left coming from? Who's paying for all this BS? How is it possible there's so much insanity in our corporations, in our schools? It's because your tax dollars have been funding it, and Donald Trump is shutting it down.
I mean, I don't think there's one American that would ever support any of this money being spent. How are they able to hide it? And thank God Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the president, are exposing this and informing the American people with it. Their money, why isn't this money going to people in North Carolina? Why isn't it going to people in California? Why isn't it going to people in Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina? Why isn't it going to poor people in America?
Exactly, Sean. We have, in America, veterans under Joe Biden who couldn't afford housing. We had in America, under Joe Biden, Americans in North Carolina who lost everything they had, who couldn't even get temporary shelter. And then you have USAID funding communist nonsense in foreign countries all over the world, not to mention pushing all kinds of crazy plots on regime change and destabilizing foreign governments. It's a playground for the swamp while our own people hurt and suffer. And Donald Trump came in and he said we're going to put America first, and he is putting America first. And that's why the American people are celebrating this presidency every single day.
And by the way, Rom Rombo, Deadfish, and Axelrod are not wrong, but I actually am encouraging Democrats to double down on Dumb and Dumber. Pam Bondi, now our Attorney General, she issued orders to fight the weaponization of justice, work with DHS to eliminate the cartels, lift the death penalty, and my favorite, crackdown on sanctuary cities and states, ordering the DOJ to pause all of their federal funding. Why shouldn't they pause it when we both know that they're aiding and abetting in lawbreaking?
Exactly. Well, let's take the last one first. Sanctuary cities shield criminal organizations. They shield Tren de Aragua. They shield MS-13. They shield drug cartels. The cartels that Donald Trump is correctly and finally labeling as foreign terrorist organizations. Federal taxpayer dollars should not be used to subsidize cities and governments that shelter terrorists and criminals that are murdering our citizens by the thousands. Donald Trump is going to shut that down. You also mentioned that the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, following President Trump's day one executive orders, has made it clear that her department's mission will center on eradicating those criminal cartels in partnership with DHS and also in partnership with DOD, which of course is being led now by the great Pete Hegseth. And so you've seen in just the last few weeks how President Trump has already shut down the southern border, the financial lifeblood of those criminal cartels. And then we are now beginning and accelerating the process of uprooting these cartels from our communities and deporting them out of our country and keeping them out of our country. And when we have to, when we find drugs and we find evidence of criminality, then they will spend a very long time in jail as well too. Maybe in jail here, maybe in jail in El Salvador or some other foreign country. But what they're not going to do is menace our citizens anymore.
By the way, is it weaponization if You investigate the Biden family syndicate, and you investigate zero experience Hunter being paid millions with no experience at a time he's addicted to drugs, and money he admits on his laptop he gave to Pops. Is that weaponization or is that law and order?
Pam will follow the laws of the United States, and she will hold those accountable who must be held accountable, and she will stop government from targeting conservatives and Christians and traditional Americans. Under President Trump, we will have justice, we will have accountability, and we will have honest government once again.
All right, Stephen Miller, we always love having you. Thank you, sir.